Good morning, all of you. Myself, Dr. Shobha Singh, Assistant Professor, History. Today, the topic of our class is Muhammad bin Tughlaq, like his early life and his policies. Muhammad bin Tughlaq is best remembered as a ruler who undertook a number of bold experiments and showed a keen interest in agriculture. In some ways, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was one of the most remarkable rulers of his age. He was deeply read in religion and philosophy and had a critical and open mind. He conversed not only with the Muslim mystics but also with the Hindu yogis and Jain saints such as Jin Prabha Suri. This was not liked by many Orthodox theologians who accused him of being a rationalist, that is, one who was not prepared to accept religious beliefs as a matter of faith. He was also prepared to give high offices to people on the basis of merit, irrespective of whether they belonged to noble families or not. Unfortunately, he was inclined to be hasty and impatient. That is why so many of these experiments failed and he has been dubbed as ill-starred idealists. Now we will study the first policy of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and this is transfer of capital from Delhi to Devgir. Devgir had been a base for the expansion of Turkish rule in South India. Muhammad bin Tughlaq himself had spent a number of years there as a prince. The attempt to bring the entire South India under the direct control of Delhi had led to serious political difficulties. The people of the area were restive under what they felt was an alien rule. A number of Muslim nobles had tried to take advantage of the situation to proclaim their independence there. The most serious rebellion was that of a cousin of Muhammad Tughlaq, Gurshas, against whom the Sultan had to proceed personally. It appears that the Sultan wanted to make Deogir a second capital so that he might be able to control South India better. For this purpose, he ordered many of the officers and their followers and leading men, including many Sufi saints, to shift to Devgir, which was renamed Daulatabad. It seems that a good deal of official pressure was exerted on these sections to migrate. Liberal grants were also provided to them and arrangements made for their stay at Daulatabad. No attempt was made to shift the rest of the population. Delhi remained a large and populous city in the absence of the Sultan. Coins minted in Delhi while the Sultan was at Devgir testified to this. Though Muhammad bin Tughlaq had built a road from Delhi to Daulatabad and set up rest houses on the way to help the travelers, Daulatabad was more than 1500 kilometers away. Many people died due to the rigors of the journey and the heat since this movement took place during the summer season. Many of those who reached Daulatabad felt homesick, for some of them had lived for several generations in Delhi and looked upon it as their home. Hence, there was a good deal of discontent. After a couple of years, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to abandon Daulatabad largely because he soon found that just as he could not control the south from Delhi, he could not control North India from Daulatabad. Though the attempt to make Devgir a second capital failed, the exodus did have a number of long-range benefits. It helped in bringing North and South India closer together by improving communications. Many people, including religious divines who had gone to Daulatabad, settled down there. They became the means of spreading in the Deccan the cultural, religious, and social ideas which the Turks had brought with them to North India. This resulted in a new process of cultural interaction between North and South India as well as in South India itself. Thank you.